Welcome back to Happy Brain. My name is Sean Bloch. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time, welcome. If you've been around a while, welcome back. This is a show where we talk about those tips and techniques to make our brains happy, the fun side of mental health. Although mental health is a serious subject, we try to look at it from a lighter perspective, a way in so that you can learn more and get deeper if you need to. Today, we're talking with Birgitta Visser, and she is an author of a book called Becoming Authentically Me. She's a soul empowerment coach, everybody, and she's a light language healer and so much more. And today we talked about a variety of things, but we focused on this thing called light language healing. And you get a chance to join me in doing a short, maybe 1 or 2 minute exercise that hopefully is going to make your brain happier. I had set an intention for something specific that I'm looking for. You can do the same, and you can see if it pans out, if it helps you. She told me it would take maybe a day or so for it to kind of filter through. So I'm open-minded. It's a little woo-woo. And the great thing about Birgitta, she has a firm foot in the corporate world. We had an episode with Ashin Shah where she talked about bringing woo-woo to the workplace, if you remember that episode. Well, Birgitta works full-time for a oil and gas company, completely opposite of the woo-woo world that she is teaching us and she's going through. So I think that'll be of value to you for you, if you're in the working world and you want to explore some of these other things, there are people doing it. So this episode is for you if you want to try something new. And episode for you is if you work in the world or in the working world and you want to see if you can kind of step out of that a little bit and start practicing some more of these woo-woo tactics, even if you're sitting in a 9-to-5 job. Well, with that, let's get right into the episode with Birgitta. Cheers, and we'll talk to you soon. You were talking a little bit about being in the corporate world, and I find it fascinating when I talk to guests who are exploring this whole other side of the world and joie de vivre and life and all these different things. And yet part of their life, they're in the corporate working world. It's such an amazing, like, how could that person be two people? You know what I mean? Like, and yeah. I say that too. I have a foot in the corporate world too. And I enjoy my job, but
what do you do?
Dude, totally. I do technical training.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And so it's a very, specific type of job and things like that. But and then I do this whole other thing, mental health work and stuff like that. So different. And and you never know when you're at work, what kind of people, what they do, what their passions are. Right.
Yeah. For me, it's like in my world, in the corporate, very
totally.
They think I'm with the fairies.
Well, I will, not to promote my show, but there's an episode with this awesome woman named Ashin Shah, and we had 2 episodes on that topic. She was a corporate lawyer. She is a corporate lawyer, and she was afraid of bringing that woo-woo to the workplace because she had to keep the separation because, she's has to be a strong woman and everything. But she found that after time, like slowly, she was able to start bringing that in, and people were like embracing it. They needed it. They wanted it. So, but it's easier said than done, right?
Yeah. I say it like it is to them, whether they believe me or not, and it doesn't really bother me anymore. I mean, this whole thing about authenticity in the workplace, that's like, oh, what does that even mean?
Right.
Well, that's authenticity. It's the same when people say, what is being authentic with yourself even mean? What does that mean? So if you're not authentic, if you're not real with yourself, how can you be real in the workplace? Because everyone wears a mask, right?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. They're
for sure.
Really into character. And so many people have so many different masks, they play different personas for many different people.
So many different modalities and things that I read about in your biography.
Yes.
You wrote a book. You're a self-empowerment coach. You're trying to elevate the consciousness of humanity. I mean, some lofty goals there.
But
So
that's a very good point. People always say, well, how can we transform the world? How about you start with changing yourself? Look in the mirror, and rather than pointing fingers at other people, judging others, and blaming others, look at yourself, because you're the captain of your own ship. Nobody else. Take responsibility for your life. Take that accountability and make the necessary changes.
so what is you talk about, okay, you have a completely different thing that you do now. What is it that your main focus or passion is right now in terms of treatment and healing?
So I basically do light language healing now.
Okay.
And that is totally out there. Totally out there.
All right, let's talk about that. I don't know if I've never heard of that before, so it's new to me.
It's more known in the US actually than here, but it's becoming more known. And it's not something that when I speak it, Sean, I'm just a tool in the toolbox. That's all I am. At the end of the day, the person that wants to get better, that sits opposite me, whether virtual or face to face, at the end of the day, it's up to them to heal themselves. But light language healing is really about, how do you say it, transforming the heaviness through the use of that light language and enlightening the light within oneself. And when I say that, it's because when I speak it, I can give you a demo. When I do it with my mom, she just laughs so hard, because my mom is not exactly on that spiritual level. She believes in mediums, and that's where the buck stops.
Yes.
It's your mind doesn't comprehend it, because it's like all out there. It's like this galactic, like this ancient language, but your soul understands it. And I say to people, remember that we only use about 3% of our brains. That's it. And there's so much more out there that we don't even know, because, we're born on Earth, and everything's just like, we live a certain way, we're conditioned a certain way, and that's how we decide to live our lives. I chose to step out of the box because of all my experiences. But this type of healing does help. And I've seen it. It helps heal trauma. It helps heal aches and pains. And that even after 1 or 2 sessions.
Well, you said you could do it. Can you do like a brief demo of it, like a very brief demo,
yes,
just to give us the listeners an idea of what this is?
Do you want to have an intent? Do you want to focus on something?
Yeah. I have an intent of manifesting a healthy relationship, into partner, intimate relationship.
Okay.
And I encourage the listeners to think about their own situation, obviously.
Yes. So when I start, I will always say, so I'm going to do it properly. And I'll ask you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. And breathe out. And then take another deep breath in. Hold it. And out. And just keep doing that. Okay. So healthy relationship. Okay. Okay. Usini akatali akataini asali mahatitiali kititiama asini asakati iya mahalika yama ayane kata si iti malaki tititiama asiya aya makataye megi ma susinila aya maktititi asila ya makatu ya alakasiya atitiama Usini kitia ini asata ayani kitiama uye siniala and just keep an open mind and just allow the encoding to flow through your heart and the rest of your being. Sushinila alimikitaya masuyimitia asiniya makuyama a. Ayamalia makata iyama ayakutu ayamakutu uiya. Husinia maka atale pa uchikata ikita ayamakali petiti atiyamalala akuyamasa alikata atikata tikibatu uya. Sunya pa ay, and just allow it to flow through. And then whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Wow. So what it felt like is I felt this energy in my body, like this, like kind of a charge, I guess is the way you would describe it. And I felt like I just felt like this energy, maybe a little electricity or just something kind of when you're excited about something, you're heightened awareness. That's what it felt like. Like that's kind of what it felt like for me.
Yeah. That's good.
What was that dialect or what was that chant?
So these are this is more I did get them. This is more Lemurian. So we go back, that is prior to Atlantis. So it's very Lemurian, it's very soft, very much the heart energy. But trust me, I've worked with others, very ancient, or the Egyptian deities, and they're hardcore. Someone said, oh my God, my brain was nearly fried. She's like, this was really, really powerful. And sometimes that is very necessary, but her life is turned around completely.
And what can you, does this take like time to kind of process? Does it kind of just get in bed somewhere? Is it just something that I'll notice over time? Is it, do you have to do this repeatedly?
Notice it you'll notice it for now and then overnight.
Okay.
And then see how you feel in the morning.
Now, is light language healing? So what modality is this? Is it like past life regression? Is it where is it in the spectrum of this world?
Yeah, there's a lot in there. So light language is really, if you want to call it galactic, it's from the ascended masters. It's just from whatever is out there in the universe, right? The positive. And I sometimes will see people's past lives. I am now able to discern who the beings are. Not all of them, because I don't have names for them. It's just like I can describe them, but I don't know exactly what they're called. It's not like people sometimes talk about the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Sirians, the main ones, so to speak.
And when you're doing that to other people, like you did the demo on me, what is going through you when you're conducting that?
Loads of energy. I mean, I would tell you, when I'm done, for like, whether it's a 30-minute session or an hour session, I will always have my water next to me, because it takes a lot out of me, and it's really strange, but I get high myself because the energies are just extreme, but in a positive way.
And where can people find out more about this if they're curious and trying it, or is it something they can connect with you to experience with what we did here?
Yeah, they can contact me via my website on powersoulhealing.com.
And is this part of the work you do as a soul empowerment coach?
Yes, I do. I also, if people really want to talk, because I also do my cards, but soul empowerment coach is really about empowering our souls back to the grid of who we most authentically are, because we walk around in the world so conditioned. We live a certain way, but are we actually really living? Are we actually really alive? Or are we allowing ourselves to be lived? And I've seen that with me, because I've allowed myself to be lived for many, many years. But every experience that we go through teaches us something. And rather than going back into the default programming, right, we learn to reevaluate our lives and analyze our lives. And that's so important, because I could be huffing and puffing like the big bad wolf, And what is that going to do to me? What's that going to do to my mental health, my mental well-being, right? I'm grinding myself into a hole. And as I said, that's something that I noticed earlier this year because I was working like a maniac, but I have an exit plan. So that's the thing. That's the thing. It's finding joy in what you do. It's finding passion. It's finding a passion or of things that you enjoy in your life. It's so important.
Is there anything else as we kind of wrap up in this beautiful world of yours that you wanted to share before we kind of wrap up?
Yeah, I forgot to mention fear as well, because fear is the beta blocker within our minds. We create that. So allow yourself to live a wholesome life. Never allow yourself to be, I can put it like that, to be held back by the opinions of others, because it's not about them. It's not about you, but it's about them and how they feel about themselves. But be who you want to be in this world, not because someone else wants you to be someone else, so to speak. It's so, so important. Always be you. Never conform to the wants and needs of others. And that's what we often do. And so that's why I always say, stand in your own I am power, right? Empower yourself back to the grid, because we allow ourselves to be disempowered so often.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. We could talk forever. There's so much that I encourage you to go to your website. And if you want to learn more, I'm sure you get deeper and talk about as many other topics. But light language healing is something that I have never heard of. So I feel empowered, and I will report back, because I've done this before where somebody has done some kind of exercise. And I encourage listeners, if you did it and you were thinking about your own thing, did it, help you? Or did you notice any changes? So I'll kind of notice some changes over the next few days and see if I find something there. But appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to another episode of Happy Brain. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit that subscribe button wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you have an extra second, leave us an honest review over on iTunes or your Apple podcasting app. And until next time, my friends, keep that brain of yours happy.